So I got done recording all of the audio for another video, and it felt a little too long. So here's me in earnest trying to condense it and present it to you here. So the subject we're going to cover is why I don't go to anime cons anymore and why I don't do cosplay anymore. I'm going to start with the last one first, cosplay and cosplay contests, a little bit more specifically. Roller derby was a sport started and created by men. Now, of course, roller derby is now synonymous with women. Now, here would be the point where other people would say, now there's nothing wrong with that. But when I look back at its starting point and I see what it's become, I can indeed say there is a problem with roller derby being synonymous with women only now. In these cases, when this occurs, the problem is the fact that when something becomes completely synonymous with women, men are forced out or kept out if we weren't there before. Some would naturally pose that the group or this demographic of females and their ilk are there to appreciate anime in this case. But no, because if you go on their Tumblr pages, which I would suggest nobody do, not even for data consumption, you'll find that they have a covetousness when it comes to anime. When they buy into something, they believe that their contribution is so insurmountable that it dwarfs any and all. That literally at that point, whatever they're buying into, or they choose to say that I like, it becomes like this, I want to say, a girl in high school who looks at some random guy and says, we're going out. Not unlike the movie with Eddie Murphy, Norbit, where Rasputia Lattimore just came across Norbit being beaten up by two bullies. Now, her agenda, of course, wasn't to save him. That was just a happy byproduct for Norbit, although I'm pretty sure he would have taken the ass whooping instead of having to have this barren hellscape that was the rest of his life up until the point of parting ways with Rasputia. But my point is that she did not offer. She appropriated him. She forcibly acquired him, and it is the same thing, the same tactic that these people do. They believe it should be theirs. They believe that it is theirs. And in this case, we are talking once again about the space at an anime con. They believe that only they belong there. I'm sorry I'm getting on an extended rant. I'll get back to my point. Coming full circle as to the reason why I don't do cosplay anymore, and even if I did, I certainly wouldn't participate in any of the performances or contests, is because there was, I think, about several cons back when I was still doing the cosplay thing with a group. I remember I was half listening to this monitor that they had set up in the back room, so that even though you were participating in the cosplay event and you were in the back, you could still see the stage and still see everybody else's performances, and also you would subsequently know when to go on. Have you ever stepped on something slowly but precisely, and it's sharp? Could be glass, could be anything that's sharp, and you stop dead. Your eyes widen, and it's that calm before the storm. You've just experienced something excruciating, and the worst is only yet to come. That is the best way I can describe hearing this woman on stage giving the worst impersonation of this character I have ever heard. Now, I say character because I don't want, to give anybody the ability to dox me or to dox that person or anybody. So this scenario really, of course, works for anything that we're talking about. any character we're talking about. So think of any character. Think of someone with a 2-second hatchet job of a cosplay costume up on stage giving the worst impersonation of that character. Could be one you don't like, could be one that you like. But either way, it was the worst thing. My eyes just widened, and I was just like, no. And I turned around and I looked at the monitor, and I was like, oh my goodness, I face palmed it. That's how bad this performance was. And I was like, they're up on stage in front of all these people. Oh my goodness, I just want to kill myself with embarrassment. But she won. She won. I forget what ranking they put her in or whatever, or which category. I think she won Best Performance, and I was like, wait, what? On no level did this person ever even demonstrate any sort of, what do I want to say, any competency in any of the qualifying categories to be awarded anything. Not performance, not the cosplay itself. I was really at a loss for words, but then that's when I started to realize how the game has changed. How anime cons have been re-landscaped to fit these kinds of people. These kinds of women who have invaded the space. Now, I need to say the word woman. Now, I've been Freuding it up right now and using words like person or people, but I do mean to say women, and it just shows how ingrained the programming is and how much I still do. I need to get further away from the plantation, not in distance, but in mind. But I digress. The reason why we have to use the word woman is because we need to put a face on the element that is effectively won or re-landscaped the anime cons as we know it. And as I noted in this example, the one thing that has happened is the lowering of objective standards. And how is that exactly? It's because I'm pretty sure if a man had stepped up on stage with that, 2-second hatchet job cosplay, he would have been practically laughed off stage, and he certainly wouldn't have received any awards. And why is this? Because men, no matter where we are held to higher standards. One thing is, when a woman invades a space, or a group of women invade a space, they want everything to become easier. The less that they have to do, nothing is the goal, and then they double down on it. On to my second story. My second story is about me watching an anime con performance. It was this hole-in-the-wall anime con. So small was this anime con. I think they call them microcons. But anyway, the stage wasn't even big enough to accommodate all of the performers when they came on stage to do their final bow. There were people like hanging off the stage, holding on to other people. It was kind of a very inadvertently comedic event in that instance. So, one of the performers, who won Best Performer, by the way, was this robust woman dressed up as Zelda. Now, I don't remember which Zelda costume it was. I know it wasn't classic Zelda. It was far more darker colors. But the performance that she won Best Performance for was her basically being Zelda and complaining that all of these games, and she went down the list of all of the games that have Legend of Zelda in the title, yet she is not a playable character. Why does that deserve an award? Of what merit? How did it appreciate anime? How did it appreciate Japanese video games, in this case, The Legend of Zelda? How did it appreciate it? How did it honor it? How did it put it up on a pedestal? It didn't. And I certainly wouldn't have given out any award for that skit, because it deformated the character of Link. It deformated the video games and their creators, whether knowingly or inadvertently. However, I do suspect it was intentional. Now, let's examine something else about it. Why would anyone with even half a brain give this woman an award for personifying a character that literally doesn't exist. And what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is the character of Zelda that she was portraying does not exist. There is no Zelda character that's hostile towards Link or is resentful of Link, or even the meta, the hilarious meta of it would be that we would first have to have a Zelda character that is real and that is living in a separate universe and is aware of said universe and aware that they are either there's a video game based upon that universe, or they exist within a dimension created by that video game and are still at the same time aware that they are in a video game and therefore fictional, and then would have to be aware of these multi-layered aspects of said character's life, and then to turn around and to spit in the face of this incredible sort of, like, let's say that existed for a second, right? And then for that character, being Zelda, to turn around and go, wow, I'm a character in a video game, and this is a universe that I can not only traverse my own universe and add things to it, I could leave this dimension that I find myself in, that's like the physical plane of existence for me, and go into the plane where everything originated, a literal, by comparison, a literal god realm. But would void all of that and say, I'm mad because there are all of these games and universe. There are different universes that have my title on them, and I'm not the main character. It's not all about me. Such a concept is mind-blowingly stupid as it is infuriating. Now that is down the rabbit hole, gentlemen. But let's get back on point. In closing, I would like to answer a question maybe nobody had really asked in lieu of all of the information about this woman cosplaying as Zelda. And that question would be, why was she awarded anything? Well, it's because she followed one of the many current tenements of feminism, that is to dethrone a man, a prominent and powerful male figure, and then install themselves in that male figure's place. And did she not do that by offering a scenario and saying that all of Link's do-gooding, all of his heroism is null and void because his name, somebody else's name, a woman's name, was on the title of the video game, and that he somehow purposefully stole glory from the Zelda character by being the hero, and what they would say unworthily so. And with that, once again, it's worth reiterating, Link was dethroned, and she installed Zelda's identity in a state of superiority to the dethroned identity of Link, and that's a tenement of feminism. It's in fact, I would say it's the chief goal, to remove men and to install women in that place. So I hope you found my anecdotes to be on point, poignant. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Please watch my videos. I know my voice is annoying, my rambling is interminable, but I do not have the eloquence of better YouTubers, and I only wish to convey my opinions, because as you can see, no matter how annoying my voice is, I've always got a point. So before we go, I would like to institute the moving forward, every time I use the term roller derbied, now you'll know that I'm talking about when something previously constructed and populated by men has been re-landscaped to only accommodate women, and there are only men around to sort of do routine maintenance, but keeping the weight off of the women's shoulders. So anime cons, people have been roller derbied. That's all I wanted to say. Everybody have a lovely day. Once again, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.